Welcome, Coach, to this our interview for Game 23 in the league. 1-0, you win away from 10x. Many people have been saying that it's difficult to come from that, but obviously buoyed by that fact, and you are going to be playing against Dynamos, who also have their tails up after that 3-0 win. Take us through your preps and your thoughts as well towards the game.
The 2-0 away to 10x, of course, is positive. For us, it's important because I think we were capable of doing what we spoke about in the last weeks, which was tying the points with the performance. So that was good for us in terms of being able to do that. But I tend to say I don't believe too much or read too much into previous games and going into new ones. But of course it's positive for us, like the win for Dynamos against Chicken Inn will be also. So I think it'll be two teams, not only because of the previous result, but I think it'll be two teams that always want to win. I think it'll be two teams that will always look to play, their style of football and their identity. Dynamos, of course, are a very difficult team, very big club, and one that are in the title race and have been since the beginning of the season. So they've got their own objectives, and I'm sure they will play for that. And we've got ours as well, and we will do everything we can to compete and hopefully be able to get a positive result as well.
Coach, you'll always have a fresh squad to pick from. We've seen almost all the players have been given a 10. But going into this game, do you have certain preference of a type of player going into this game?
In terms of the players specifically, to be honest, no, because we've been able as a club to build a club or a squad that I think consists of the style of player and the quality of player that we need. And everyone's had that phase now of adaptability and understand how we want to play. And like you said, and it's true, every player we have registered has played at least one time throughout the season. So they're all capable of performing. Whichever players are called upon will be able to hold their responsibility, and I'm sure and I'm confident in them as well.
Coach, going into the second half already of the season, do you see any sluggishness in terms of fitness levels, or it's still at optimum?
No, for me that's probably one of the most positive things. I think the technical, the skillful side, that ability I think we've always had since day one. I think the most important part for us is we're still at this stage now, and the psychological and the fitness are sustainable and they're consistent. We haven't dipped in form in terms of fitness, mental, like we said there, in terms of the confidence, in terms of the belief. It's been continuous as well, and I think that's how we have to be if we want to be one of the better teams and continue to perform and continue to win points until the end of the season. That's what we have to maintain high, and we always have to remember that we have to represent this club. At the end of the day, that's my responsibility as the coach. That's the players' responsibility as players. We have to do everything we can to represent this club, whether it's the first game or the last game.
And Coach, I know previously you have mentioned that you are not aiming, obviously, at the championship. Being the first season with the lads, what would you say? Would you say there's something that, emotionally, something that you would say maybe I would like to see us in the top 4 or 8, if it was possible, without any pressure?
I'd like to win the league, but I think that would be an amazing last 12 games, and I think everyone else would have to do very badly. But I have said it since day one. Of course, I want to stay as high as we can. If we can finish top 3, it's top 3. If it's top 4, it's top 4. If it's top 6, it's top 6. So there's always objectives in terms of wanting to climb up the ladder. But I've said it since day one. It's never been about a number. It's never been about finishing in the top 6 or top 4 or top 8 or any specific position. The most important thing is that this year was our foundation. This was bringing in players and creating this culture, this playing style, this adaptability of the professionalism on and off the pitch, everything like that we've put in, and that's been difficult for most people, to be honest, from the beginning. But I think we're reaching that. We're getting to the point, and I think it shows even that there's a lot of things that we've set the standard and other clubs are following us. That's a fact. So we've shown a lot of good things. We've introduced, in my opinion, a lot of positive things as well to the football and to the PSL here in Zimbabwe. So now it'll be about next year continuing that and going for specific targets and reaching certain objectives. For this season, it's game by game. If you ask me today, it'll be we want to be the best team in the last 12 games. Next week, it'll be in the last 11, and it'll be like that until the end.
And Coach, I must thank you so much for coming through.
Thank
and
you.
All the best for the game against Dynamos away.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.